Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest installment of the NSF webinar series. I'm happy to be here with everybody today, whether you're listening in live right now or listening to the recording. It's an exciting time of year for us in the sports business. We have football that's going to be getting started here soon. We're, obviously with the NFL heading into its 100th year and college football into its 150th year. We're celebrating the anniversary of our own here with the National Sports Forum. It's our 25th year as we head into Atlanta next year in February. So we're excited about that. But today we have a really interesting topic, something that is near and dear to many of our hearts here in the sports industry. And we're going to be talking about what's next in sports business technology. As you can see, we have a great set of panelists here that are going to be talking with us today. And all of these companies that you'll be hearing from today are actually winners of a program that we have been running at the National Sports Forum for the last 4 years called our Tech Tank. And what we do with the Tech Tank is we try to help identify the next companies that are making a difference in sports business technology, people that are out there kind of setting the mark for us, setting the pace as we move forward with all these new different technologies and innovations. And the way that we segment it is based off of our 4 pillars that we focus on with the NSF. Those 4 pillars, if you're not familiar with them, are marketing, sponsorship, ticket sales, and business development. So each company that you see here below will represent one of those pillars in terms of the flight at the conference that they won in Las Vegas this past February. So that's a quick intro for you. We're going to move forward with our first presenter today, who is representing One Mob. And One Mob was the winner of the ticket sales and strategy flight this past year in Las Vegas. So they're looking at different ways that our ticket sales teams can do a better job and more effective job of reaching out to our fans. So I will let Kyle Patel take it from here. He's the head of growth from One Mob.
Awesome, Josh. Thank you so much. And thanks to the NSF team for putting this together and recognizing us. Really excited to share with you guys our One Mob platform. A quick background on myself and the company. As Josh mentioned, I'm our head of growth. I joined the company just about 15 days after it started, which was about 5 years, just over 5 years ago. And we were very fortunate to get a sports team on our customer roster really early, about 6 months into our company. We got the Sacramento Kings as a customer. And in the last 5 years, not only working with them, but next slide, please, if you don't mind, we have signed over 30 pro sports teams using One Mob. We are represented in 10 professional sports leagues, the top ones, MLB, MLS, NBA, NFL, et cetera, all across various regions, coast to coast. So likely, if you're on this call representing any sports team, you have somebody in your neighborhood, another team, or somebody in your league who's already found success with what I'm going to show you today. So we're very fortunate to have this roster of folks giving us feedback and helping us build this platform to really help your team sell. Next slide, please. But what I want to focus on today is video. That's where our company started. One Mob does a lot of things today as it's grown, but video is still at our core. And when we started the company, video was just a rising trend in the consumer world. A big trend, but companies like Snapchat had just gotten started. They were a couple of years in. Instagram had just been bought by Facebook. So we saw this huge movement with video in the consumer world, and it was logical to us that that trend would come into the enterprise and into business, because if we want to watch videos outside of work, well, why wouldn't we want to watch videos at work too? And so when we looked around for research, especially recently as that trend has formalized, folks like HubSpot, who analyze a ton of data, really helped hit the nail on the head. Videos, when you include them in your email communication specifically, that's a lot of communication that your teams do. Putting a video in there can help increase that click-through rate by 200 to 300%. So we're not talking about little marginal gains. That trend has really formalized in our work world, in our corporate world of watching videos. We love watching videos, especially at work. So the click-through rate is through the roof. And when we looked at buyer behavior and folks who, your ticket teams are selling to, 59% of senior executives want to watch a video, right? We watch them outside of work. Why wouldn't we want to watch them at work? It's a quick way to get information. We're pretty much trained to learn through video now, at least a majority of us. Next slide, please. But for us, it's not just video. Video is a great hook. Again, it gets people to click in the emails. It gets people to, you click on your social media posts or text messages, however you're communicating. We'll talk about the different ways. But it's not just video. Video is a great hook. Your reps can definitely take out their iPhones today, record a video, put it on YouTube, and send it to a customer, right? But when we really looked at the buyer journey, that doesn't complete the whole picture. 82% of buyers view at least 5 pieces of content from the winning vendor, which means video is a great hook, but it's not the end-all be-all. Your reps and your account managers, your retention teams, your sales teams, they have to become content creators for your fans, for your ticket members, for the families in your communities that are looking to buy tickets, or business owners. There is so much content out there for them now that your reps really have to curate that for them. And just think about like a renewal rep who has to work with somebody who has just signed, or a retention team rather, somebody who has just signed a ticket, a season ticket, versus somebody who is about to or just renewed. The content they have to send them is different, right? And so it's now the job of the reps to really curate all of the content out there, pick the few items that are going to move their deals forward, going to get people to renew, or whatever the next step they need to take in that buyer journey is. Next page, please. And so that's what we built with OneMob. Think of OneMob similar to that YouTube experience. Your reps record videos. I will show you different ways. They put that video on a web page. We're never sending video files. So without coding, it's just drag and drop, type. Your reps and your teams can easily put together these pages of content, leading with video, which gets people to click, but then closing with documents, images, URLs. We'll talk about buying experiences we just launched as well, where tickets can be purchased right on these pages. That's essentially what your reps are creating, curated web pages of content led by video. They can send one-on-one or one-to-many. They can send these via email. We have an email sender. They can do blast emails one-on-one. They can put these links on social media, text them through tools like ZipWhip you might be using, or just texting in general. They can put them behind QR codes, put them on t-shirts or wherever they want. So when somebody scans that QR code, it's a video of them. Or again, anywhere you want to use a link, they can place this in a PowerPoint presentation, whatever. When the viewer's looking at the content, be it videos, documents, images, there's no downloads or attachments ever. They can look at the content on any device, mobile, desktop, iPads, whatever, tablets, and the reps get real-time tracking. So they are gonna know which of their prospects, which of their current renewal opportunities, who's looking at the content, how long are they looking at it, and it's all generated off of this page of content. Next page, please. So when we talk about video and leading with video, we really wanted to, give our customers different ways to engage their audience with video. So we built different tools to do just that. Our customers can record using screen recording. Our plugin, which is a Chrome plugin called OneScreen, they're recording their screens. They're walking their ticket, season ticket members through new parking flows. They're walking them through how to add their credit card into the system to pay for those tickets. They're showing them the mobile apps. This is a big push, I know, across many leagues, if not all of them, to push mobile apps and the mobile experience. So the reps are using their mobile phones to record different flows, log in here, here's how you get your tickets. And those are the types of videos that they're using our tools to do. They're using green screen. We've set up green screen studios at various arenas across the globe. Pepsi Center has one, Staples, and their reps are going in there and actually using different backgrounds, whether that's slides like you see on the top one, with their name and the logo, or reliving memories like you see the Capitals doing on that middle video on the bottom. That happened a couple of years ago at this point, but they're having their fans relive that memory of winning the Stanley Cup, of Ovechkin picking up that cup. That video plays in the background as this rep is talking, introducing herself to engage her list of fans that she's looking to sell to. So really bringing up those emotions, again, using green screen to do that. They can do that right on their mobile phone, just standing in front of a green screen using any video or image and pull it up as a background. They can record anywhere on mobile. So using the mobile app, reps are going out in front of the arena, as you see with Golden One there. Brand new arena, the reps are really loving showing that off and showing how, you know, grand it was from the outside. Or going onto the court, like you see in the Grizzlies video on the bottom, just standing there and having fans sit in the seats, right? If you're selling a car, you have someone sit in it. This is the digital equivalent of that. You're showing the view of a courtside view, or showing a suite, so you can record anywhere, desktop, mobile, using green screen, and we brand every video. So the logos of your team will display on top of the video as a watermark, and reps can even use scripts. We have teleprompter features where reps can just read off of the script like a news anchor does, like a sports anchor does, and make video recording really easy. Next slide, please. But like I said, it's not just about video, so we store any content. They can upload videos, hype videos, marketing videos. You know, seasons are starting, like Josh mentioned. A lot of teams are putting out that hype content to get fans excited about the season. Why wouldn't your reps share that exact same content with the fans that they're engaging with? So they can upload those videos, documents, PDFs, whatever types. Images, show the view from a seat, or take a really great image of the entire stadium that you want to use as a background, or just include on the page infographics that are in image form, or URLs, links to any website that you want, can all be stored in our platform. Reps can tag those so they can easily find what they need. So again, our platform becomes a content curation for the reps as well. So they don't have to go out and find content everywhere it lives, and they can share that content with anyone at their teams. So if they want to share, you know, a link that's useful, not everyone has to go find that link. I, as a manager or as just a rep who wants to help, can share it with everyone in my organization. Next slide, please. And then they're easily able to go in and pick the content that they want, you know, using tags. They can find that shared content, just click a couple of items, and we will dynamically and automatically create these pages for them. So again, no coding, done in seconds, literally, and all of the branding is there. Logos, backgrounds are set per team. You have the ability to change those as you know, admins in the platform. As a rep, my information's on the top. So it's page personalized for me. So if this gets forwarded to another buyer, they can absolutely know who it's coming from the organization. Next page, please. And as I mentioned, we did integrate some ticket selling experiences. So if you're using FIBO or Groupmatics, your reps can include those event codes right on our page, and we will run that widget. So when your buyers click like a buy ticket link that your reps can add to these OneMob pages, they can buy the tickets for the event right on the OneMob page now. So really exciting, again, creating an unlimited amount of payment gateways that your reps are already sending content to these buyers, potential buyers. Now they can take payments on any communication that they're sending just by adding that event code right on our page. Next page, please. And then we give tracking, as I mentioned. So we're going to track every activity in real time, who's looking at the page, when did they look at it, where did they look at it from, with some location data, what they clicked on, did they watch the video, how long did they watch the video, did they watch the whole thing or just leave? When they click on a document, we'll actually show slide by slide or page by page how long the viewer looked at each page. So reps are loving this for sending things like proposals. If I have option A and option B on 2 different pages, now I know which one my customer is really looking at, and I know where to push and follow up as that opportunity gets closer to closing. And if you use a CRM like Salesforce or Dynamics, we will also automatically write the data back to leads and contacts there as well. We know how important it is to store data in one place. So not only can reps send from those platforms, but we will write the data back there as well as showing it to the reps inside of OneMob. Next page, please. And so there's a lot of different ways, as I wrap up, that teams are using OneMob. We'd love to share them with you. So definitely, follow up with us if this is of interest. But reps have really found a variety of ways to use this, introducing themselves to new markets or new, if they're new to the team, inviting for special events, taking a video at an event and saying, hey, don't miss the next one. Look how much fun this one was. Renewal opportunities, internal communications. Managers love engaging their teams with video, right? If your reps aren't really looking at your emails or reading the things you're sending to them in updates, video could be a great way to also heighten that engagement within your teams. Next slide, please. And what I want to close with is just leaving you with a couple of things that our customers say about us. John is a great partner of ours at the White Sox. And if there's one thing you really take away from my presentation, I hope it's what he says in his first line here, is that in the sports industry, in our industry, as he calls it, we sell experiences and memories. So you need a platform to best capture that. Your reps are not selling jerseys. They're not selling, physical goods. They are selling an experience. And that's very hard to convey in just words, on paper, in documents. And that's why video has really had an impact on the sports industry. We are excited to show this and help your teams get this experience and capture these experiences and create these memories for your fans as well. And when we, again, look back at the Sacramento Kings after 5 years of working with them, when they asked the reps if they can keep just one tool, they unanimously said one mob. So we're very excited to bring this to you all. Next slide, please. Thank you all for your time. Thanks, NSF, for inviting us. And if you're interested in learning more, go to onemob.com, click request a demo, and we will create a tailored presentation for your team. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Definitely appreciate you taking us through that. I will say, just add another point in there, just how easy this is to use. When they were at the NSF in Vegas, they were literally able to create one of these videos right in front of everybody on the spot in real time. It's a really easy technology to use, which is obviously the best type of technology. So thanks so much, Kyle. And this goes for Kyle or any of the other presenters on today's webinar. If you are anybody on the call or that's listening into the recording is interested in learning more about any of these technologies and would like to get connected with any of the speakers, please feel free to reach out to myself, josh@sports-forum.com, and I will be able to get you connected. Also, if there's any other technologies, people that are representing technologies on the call listening in that would like to learn more about getting involved in future tech tanks, please reach out to myself and we can have that conversation. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that we're also getting ready for a new event this October in San Francisco. It's the inaugural Fall Summit. And obviously with us being up there in the Bay Area, what many know as Silicon Valley, we're actually going to be rolling out a tech tank program in front of the whole conference there up in San Francisco. So we're really looking forward to that. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, or if you're working with a team and you have any vendors that you work with that are really helping your efforts, feel free to reach out and let us know. But with that being said, I wanted to move on to our next presenter. Craig Byers, the sales director for AmericanEagle.com. Don't get it confused with the clothing company. These guys do actually much cooler things. All things website design and digital. Craig's going to talk about a program that they've run with the Green Bay Packers that has seen a lot of success. And Craig represented, like I said, AmericanEagle.com won the marketing and fan engagement flight last year in Las Vegas. So with that being said, I'll let Craig take it away. And as you see here on the bottom of this slide, if you do have any questions for Craig or any of the other presenters, feel free to type them into the dashboard on the right side of your screen, and we'll try to get to them at the end. So Craig, I'll let you take it away.
Perfect. Thank you, Josh. And thank you everybody for joining today's webinar. Very much appreciate having the opportunity to speak with you all. Quick background on myself. Been with American Eagle for almost a decade. Actually started here as an intern many years ago in high school. And at that time, my role was to work on a number of websites that we provided for actually college sports and college conferences. So Big East, Navy football, and a number of different entities. So my background in terms of web has always been kind of sports on the sports side, although American Eagle does work with clients of all types and sizes. So today we're going to talk about a program we ran with the Green Bay Packers to celebrate their 100th season milestone. It was a pretty unique opportunity. I'm really looking forward to showing you what we all provided for them. Next slide, please. Quick background on American Eagle. American Eagle is a full service agency, everything from strategy, design, development, hosting, and support when it comes to websites and digital applications. We've been in business since about '94 was our first website. so almost over 25 years of experience, 450 employees. Our headquarters are right outside Chicago. We do have offices across the U.S., and we're a family-owned business. Next slide, please. And just to kind of round out our different core competencies I mentioned: strategy, design, development, hosting, digital marketing, and mobile apps. So there's very little that we don't provide our clients. In some cases, we provide all of our services. In other cases, we're just providing certain focus area to help kind of complement their internal needs. Next slide, please. Quick background on who types of clients we do work with. It really spans variety. There's clients of all sizes and all industries. So today, obviously, we're talking about the Green Bay Packers. We do work with a number of other NFL teams and other professional sports teams like the Chicago Blackhawks. And then to more traditional consumer brands like Dairy Queen, and manufacturers like Beretta, the world's oldest firearm manufacturer, and a number of Fortune 500 companies. So a good diverse client base in terms of who we work with. All right, but let's talk about the Green Bay Packers 100 season program. This was really about finding a way to build engagement with fans and using the 100th season celebration as kind of the key activation. So this process started kind of ahead of the actual season, and really came out what's the best way to create a digital experience that's going to keep the fans coming back and engaged with whatever it is we create on the web to celebrate that 100th season program. Next slide, please. So the celebration was actually a 16-month-long engagement, and the website was just a piece of it. So they had a number of different events on premise or on site that comprised the celebration. So they had Lambeau Field Live, which was more of a VR experience. They had a large celebration weekend outside the stadium where fans were invited. They had an awesome turnout. They produced a documentary video called Legacy to celebrate kind of all the milestones and achievements over a 100-year span. And then throughout the season, during the before games for tailgating, they had the Packers experience. So a way to kind of get on the field and actually try out some different exercises and activities to kind of bring that on-field experience to fans. Next slide, please. What we ended up creating was Packers 100. So you can access it by going to packers.com/100. The site as it exists today is a little bit different than it existed in the months prior and during the celebration itself, but still has a lot of the good content out there that we'll also highlight throughout today's presentation. Next slide, please. All right. So what we're going to do today for the webinar, the best way to kind of go through this is actually just to show video of the site itself. So what you're seeing here is the homepage. And we broke down the celebration into different focus areas. So showing the evolution of the stadium, the team, the different decades that really define the 100 years, and then also allowing actually fans to submit their stories about their Packers experiences over the last 100 years. Obviously, a lot of them are more of recent nature, but it was really cool to see all the different stories and pictures that fans had submitted. Next slide, please. So what we're looking at here is kind of the breakdown of the different decades or eras, so to speak. So fans can come in there and dive into a specific era to learn more about it. So what we did is work with the Packers to really uncover all different types of content that really defined each decade. So highlights, different players, different milestones and achievements. And one underlying thing that you'll see throughout this is the notion of moments. We work with the Packers to come up with the top 100 defining moments of their 100 seasons. And we focus each of those moments based on decades. And we'll get into that a little bit further along. Next slide, please. One thing that we also wanted to do was really show the evolution of the equipment and jersey. And what you're seeing here are some initial prototypes that we put together to kind of tell the backstory of how we actually came up with the solution you actually see on the website now. So the Packers actually had commissioned an organization to recreate all of the old jerseys, brought in seamstresses to actually go off and create everything, and then brought in live models to actually wear those jerseys and equipment. And when we heard about this, we thought it'd be really neat to do some 360 video so we can render it and allow fans on the website to actually go interact with the different jerseys and equipment and learn more about it. So this is kind of our overall prototype vision for what we were going to create. If you go to the next slide, we can actually see in reality what was produced. So Based on the different major changes to the jersey and uniform, we broke down the different evolution here across the different decades and eras. And then at any point in time, you can click into a certain point in time for the uniform and come in here and actually engage with the rendering itself. So believe it or not, this is actually all done in 360 video, and then we used a rendering engine to produce the interactive piece on the website itself. That's a huge point of engagement on the website. A lot of fans really got a kick out of that. To give you kind of a sense of the timeline of the overall campaign itself, so in June 1st, 2018, the Packers started to reveal the different moments. As I had mentioned, we had selected 100 moments that really define the 100 seasons. So through a drip campaign, they started revealing moments starting on June 1st. They released those moments all the way up until September 10th, when we actually did a tournament, which we're going to show here in a second. And this tournament allowed fans to come back and vote on their favorite moment, kind of like a NCAA bracket style, ultimately putting the different moments against each other and allowing the fans to choose which ones are really the most defining of the organization as a whole. And then on December 31st, 2018, they announced that winning moment, which was the frozen in time moment. Next slide. So what you're seeing here is actually all the different moments that were released. Ultimately, during the whole campaign, some of these were not released yet. They were done in a drip campaign. But you can click in here, and depending on what kind of content was available, you can either read about that moment. In this case, there's actually a video clip of the moment itself. And then fans, when we had the different tournament, we paired all the moments against each other. So fans can actually come in here and engage and vote on the different moments. If you can click on the next slide, it should bring us into the video. This is pretty neat. Fans can come in here and see the different moments, and through the voting process, pick which one they wanted to select, and it shows which ones ultimately won and advanced to the next round. And this is just a look at kind of how the different matchups showed, comparing one moment to another, allowing each fan to vote and record their preference. If you could jump to the next slide. So in terms of the results, and I just scratched the surface, there's a lot more content that's out there on the website, but due to time, didn't want to jam it all in here. But I think the results of this campaign are pretty impressive. So in terms of engagement, we recorded 107,000 unique fan voters, meaning that 107,000 unique individuals came to the website to cast their votes in that tournament, which is pretty impressive. Across the whole drip campaign, they had over 19 million impressions on Facebook based on the content that they were releasing out to their fans, and then thus shared by fans, and over 4.6 million impressions for different Twitter posts and tweets that were put out there. On the website side, as of when we created this stat, there's about 2 million page views to the website itself, and 60% of which originated from a mobile device, which is not all that surprising, but the site works great on mobile too. They also made this a cross-channel campaign, meaning that the website was not the only way to get access to the content. People could actually vote through the Green Bay Packers app, and they recorded over 70,000 votes within the app itself too. So pretty impressive engagement for the 100-season campaign. And with that, if there's any questions that were submitted, I'm happy to answer them. Josh, I'll let you take it back from here though.
All right, thanks, Craig. We actually do have a question here. Kind of a question that looking at the industry holistically here. What trends do you see in sports right now, in the sports industry, in terms of websites, but also just all things digital? So I know you guys kind of work at the cross section. So what trends are you seeing right now that you think is really going to be hitting moving forward as we head into 2020?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that we're really seeing is a push towards fan engagement, which is a pretty broad term. So I'd like to kind of be a little bit more specific. A lot of organizations are finding it challenging to come up with unique and different ways to keep fans engage in digital platform. Just because there's so many different ways they can consume content, teams are kind of vying for attention and fighting for attention. So we've seen a really big push towards loyalty programs and kind of fan clubs, and creating a separate destination that is more fan-centric, whether it's a listing of all the different bars or restaurants that perhaps show different games, or actually building a formal loyalty or fan club app and website. And then incentivizing people to actually engage with those loyalty programs by incentivizing actions like reading content, subscribing to newsletters, engaging on social, kind of more of a gamification approach where they provide points for different interactions. So that's the trend that we're starting to see. A big part of that too is finding potential sponsors to help subsidize the cost of those programs, and ultimately turn it to a fan engagement, but also an opportunity for activations for sponsors as well.
Yeah, no, I think that all makes a lot of sense, and it'll be interesting to see what new technologies will continue to, or how people are going to continue to innovate. So I'm looking forward to seeing it, and hopefully we'll have some people that can talk more to that as we head into San Francisco and Atlanta for our next couple rounds of Tech Tank. So, but with that being said, and remember, feel free to send in, continue to send in any questions. We might have a few minutes at the end for everyone to take some time. But I do want to move on to our last, but certainly not least, presenters with Akimo. You're going to be hearing from Mark Jeffrey, CEO, and Paolo LaGreca, who's the Chief Marketing and Sales Officer of Akimo. And these guys were the winners of the Corporate Partnership and Brand Activation Flight this past year in Las Vegas. And I think before I let these guys get off and running, I do want to make mention of the fact that I think a lot of these technologies would fit and help with all the different areas that cover our 4 pillars with the NSF. So, a group like American Eagle or One Mob or Akimo, there are different ways that they could help our organizations, whether it's with corporate partnership and brand activation, with ticket sales and strategy, as well as marketing and fan engagement. And I think that this is, Akimo in particular, is a really great representation of that. So with that being said, Mark, Paolo, I will let you guys take it from here.
Hi there, this is Mark. You guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Great. So Mark Jeffrey with Akimo. I'm the nerd on the team, the strong tech background. Paolo is the cool guy. He's formerly played sports. Say hi, Paolo.
Hi, Paolo.
So let's do the first slide, please. So we're going to share with you the Akimo, what we've been doing in the last several months and through the Tech Tank. What you're seeing here is us live on the digital board in the Tokyo Dome, which was at Major League Baseball at the kickoff of Major League Baseball season. So what Akimo does, let's do slide number 2. So we have technology that enables everybody in a stadium and potentially millions at home to play on a digital board in the stadium. Our technology platform is backed by 38 patent assets. So players in the stadium compete and they win prizes. The prizes can be soft things, which are actually great in a stadium. So you win signed jerseys, you win hats, t-shirts, but they can also be coupons and ultimately could be potentially cash. So that's what we do. And I think the easiest way to really explain this is that we actually do it and we play. So next slide, please. So what I'd like you guys to do is, if you don't mind, take out your phone and we're going to go play. You want to go to ngmshow.com on your phone. And what you're going to see, the web page is going to load, and you're going to see the Las Vegas Aces game. We're, of course, live with the Aces. So if you take your phone out, and what you can do is you can tap here and play solo. So you can actually play, you get two choices. There's a shooting challenge or the 3-point challenge. And you can either swipe or tilt to shoot the basketball. And the cool thing is, in the stadium, all of the shots that the players take are on the leaderboard in the stadium. So we're going to play in just a second. So everybody got it working?
Working good.
All right. Well, in that case, let's launch a game. So your screens are counting down, and you're all going to play. There we go. So I'm seeing about 30 of you playing right now. And all the balls flying on the screen. We've got aces, C5, 6, 6 is actually in the lead right now. And WSCHM is in second place, rocking it. There's 16 seconds left. It's counting down. Aces, C5, 6, 6 is in the lead. Oh my gosh. 5, 4, 3. Jake is making it coming on strong, and the winner is Aces C5 6 6 got first, and second was WSCHM, and third was Aces C5 7 4. Okay, so what we just did is we played an interactive game where you are obviously wherever you are, right? So I'm in Arizona, and we're in probably at least 10 different states right now as we're playing, and we all played simultaneously in a live event. Okay, so that really is the true power of the Equino platform. You didn't get to see it, but the shots on the screen on the digital board are the actual shots that you were making during the game. So next slide, please. So we have 3 modes that we deliver the Equimo platform. The first is for event activation. So you can see here on the left side is the Blackhawks. They had some big digital boards set up at their FanFest event. So we can play on digital boards outside of an arena. In the middle there is the concourse activation. So we're live on the concourse to MGM in Tokyo. And then finally, of course, the full-on experience is playing live in the stadium with several thousand people playing simultaneously on a digital board. You've got the with Pacers at the top, Tokyo is in the middle, and the Chicago White Sox on the bottom right there. So next slide. So for Tokyo, we created a game where it was an MLB series opener, the Oakland A's versus the Seattle Mariners. We created the opportunity, you could actually pick your team on left and right side, switching in the app from the 2 different players. You could also go left and right-handed batters. And we had an outside the stadium activation where groups came through, and what's kind of cool is we can do like 50 people at a shot. They had it set up so it was approximately 20 people coming through in the outdoor activation. Very different from a activation where everybody's queuing up to sort of one person at a time. We're able to move a very large volume of players through an outdoor activation. On the concourse then we had couple of thousand people playing at any instant in the concourse game. Anybody could play in the stadium there. And then we had several thousand people playing in the actual stadium itself in the live event at the stadium. Next slide, please. So here you can see the gameplay on the digital board. On the right side is a live leaderboard where the announcer it was kind of funny in Japanese and in English is reading out the scores and saying how great Yakamoto is doing, right? And we give away, we mentioned soft goods in the stadiums, the jerseys that go along, they love it, right? So we had authentic game ball was the prizes for the actual games. We have 100% prize redemption, which is great. So people are playing, they're coming, they're getting the prizes. They're absolutely, we heard in the previous presentation, the importance of fan engagement. This is the ultimate fan engagement tool. So next slide, please. So here's some data. 4-day series, 24,000 players playing 83,000 solo games and 24,000 players in the live events. So that's a total of 100,000 plays. Now, what does that mean? A play is you played a game, it's 60 seconds. So when there's 100,000 plays, that means there's 100,000 minutes of play, okay? That's 100,000 minutes of brand exposure in the hand. 100,000 minutes, that's 16 days continuously, 24-hour days of exposure that happen in your game if you think of YouTube metrics. It's 416,000 page views. So from a marketing perspective, the impact of this marketing is really quite substantial and very significant. And because it's look at 24,000 players, you see they're playing 83,000 solo games. They're playing more than once. They're playing on average about actually 4 times each, right? Which is great. So huge engagement. If you look at in the middle there, the demographic data really just matches the demographics of the stadium. So we get a very broad adoption in the stadium. 26% male. 74% male, 26% female. So again, matches pretty well what's in the stadium. Next slide, please. So I kind of wanted to keep it short and sweet and open it up to any questions at all.
Well, Mark, I think one question that a lot of people would have is the way that you're working with both teams and brands. Obviously, for a lot of us working on the technology side, we see how important it is to have brands that are supporting these technologies. So can you speak a little bit to that and some of the success that you've seen in creating partnerships with brands that then extend to the team properties themselves?
Absolutely. So, it works both ways. I think that the team is very, very important in getting teams on board and bought into the value of the technology in our platform from a fan engagement perspective is sort of the first step. But then the brand partnerships are really the next level. And as you've seen here, MGM has been a fabulous partner with us, and we work with them. We did obviously the Major League Baseball opening series, but we did also the All-Star game for Major League Baseball. We did the WNBA All-Star game, and just a few weeks ago, the Major League Soccer All-Star game. So we've done several events with them, and we're live, of course, with the Aces, which is the Aces are owned by MGM. Okay. So there's a pretty major brand plug throughout this presentation. So yeah.
And I think something I like to kind of close it out with, and Mark, I'll start with you first, and obviously Paolo can feel free to chime in as well. But I want to pose this question to each of the panelists on the call, and we're always wondering, what do you see as the next wave of sports technology in the industry? What are some new innovations that you have your eyes on that you'd like to see that are just starting to hit, or maybe that we're going to start to see more and more of as we move forward into the future?
This is Mark. So let me just say it's not necessarily a sports technology, but it is a technology. 5G is coming. We're working with clients right now that actually have 5G is in their stadiums or their arena areas. It's not actually turned on yet, but it's there. And the potential that by the way, the specs on 5G are kind of a mystery, right? Is it 10 times better? Is it 100 times better? 1,000 times better than regular cell phone service? But the idea that you can deliver very rich content to arenas with this new 5G technology, and not be, in some arenas it's actually a little rough getting, posting a picture to Facebook or whatnot, right? So that's going to change. It's going to change in the next few years very significantly.
That's great. And whoever would like to chime in next.
Yeah, this is Kyle from One Mob. One that I've seen, and I'm really interested to see how it formulates, is just how teams will engage not just fans in the arena, but fans watching games. I'm seeing things on Twitter, teams, posting during games, getting fans engaged who are on those platforms, not necessarily at the arena watching. I recently bought a virtual reality headset. You can now, more or less sit courtside and watch a game. So just seeing how teams are going to engage folks, not just in the arenas, but outside during these games and in between them, I think is another one that I'm excited to see how it evolves.
I think you definitely hit the nail on the head there, Kyle, and kind of bringing it back to the Quimo occasion. What Quimo showed us today, and that's a way that we can engage our fans, that are outside of the arena, and get to feel like they're part of the experience, and they're getting to take part in some of the activities that the fans in the venue are, and get to be part of that prize pool. So I think that's definitely interesting, and the way that people are going to be consuming content moving forward. Craig, did you have anything to add on that?
Sorry, I was on mute there. I think I touched on it kind of in my piece. I think everything stated was pretty good. So.
Well, I think one thing that I know that we're looking at from the NSF's perspective, and I think a lot of us are looking at, across the industry right now, are how the legalization of sports gaming and betting is going to really change the shape of the industry as a whole. But in particular, as it pertains to this discussion, I think I'm really interested in seeing some of the new technologies that are going to help continue to engage fans both at home and in the venue surrounding this new sports gaming piece that's going to really, I think, like I said, change the shape of our industry here in the United States. So I'm really interested at seeing that, and I'm sure that some of the people on the call are probably already working on some things, obviously with Quimo, working with MGM, and you can get really creative with some websites, I think, Craig, on your end as well. So, but no, I really appreciate everybody's time here today. Thanks so much, Kyle from One Mob, Craig from AmericanEagle.com, Mark and Paolo from Quimo. Like I said, these are the winners of the NSF Tech Tank as we look back at our show in Las Vegas. Please, if anybody on the call is interested in connecting with any of these gentlemen and learning more about their companies and about the technologies that they represent, feel free to reach out to myself at josh@sports-forum.com, and I will make sure that we get you connected so that you can learn some more. And then any other questions you have, you see up on your screen here about if you're a technology that wants to get in front of some more teams out there in the industry, whether that be this October in San Francisco or next February at our 25th anniversary in Atlanta, feel free to reach out to the email on the screen, and we will definitely have that conversation. But I want to once again thank all my panelists for sharing their insights, and thank you everybody for listening, and we hope to see you at the next one. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.